Alright, dear children, now we do continue again with the next observation that was made by Lenard and Hertz from photoelectric effect. Now in this particular observation we see how frequency affect the stopping potential. That means the effect of frequency of incident radiation on stopping potential. Stopping potential also called what potential? Cutoff potential. Okay. Now as you know, at stopping potential is completely independent of the intensity of light. But when the frequency of incident light changes, the stopping potential also changes. You know why frequency changes the stopping potential? Because when the frequency of light, incident light increases, the kinetic energy of photoelectrons increases. When kinetic energy increases means the electron move faster as compared to before. In order to stop that energy, photoelectrons, we have to increase the negative potential, and that is called stopping potential. So in a simple way, I can tell you that when at the stopping potential, the light of frequency, if the light of frequency higher than as before, if it made to fall on the plate, then the photoelectric current increases in such a manner due to what the current maximum kinetic energy of photoelectron increases. So what happens when frequency increases? The maximum kinetic energy of photoelectron also increases. So basically, when we plot a graph, children, between current and potential difference, as we had plotted in the last YouTube video also, that suppose you have a light of given intensity. Suppose you have a light of given intensity. In that case, the current become maximum when P1 become negative plate, P2 become positive plate. Okay, P1 become negative plate and P2 become positive plate. But when you increase the negative potential, when P2 become negative plate and P1 become positive plate, in that case, when negative potential increases, what happens? The current decreases, as we have learned it. But under this case, you see that there is a decrease in the current, and current decreases very rapidly. So at a certain negative potential, the current becomes zero, and that potential, as you have learned, is called stopping potential. But this stopping potential which we measure is at a certain frequency, and that frequency I mark by letter mu naught. So this is the symbol we are using, frequency. This is called mu. Okay, and this nu one is the frequency of light, or certain frequency of light when the intensity of light is constant. So at this frequency of light, the stopping potential will be measured, say, as B01. So what is B01? It is the stopping potential. It is the potential? Stopping potential. But this stopping potential we measure at the frequency nu naught. When the frequency is nu one, this is not naught, nu one, the stopping potential will be B01. But what happens when they change the frequency of light? When the frequency of incident light changes without changing the intensity of light, then the stopping potential also changes. And you know why it changes? As I said, when frequency of incident light increases, the maximum kinetic energy of photoelectron also increases. And when the maximum kinetic energy of photoelectron increases, means stopping potential also increases. That's why for another frequency of light, and that frequency I consider as nu2, at this frequency where nu2 is greater than nu1, nu2 is greater than mu1, then we obtain another stopping potential, and that stopping potential I mark by B02. So there is two stopping potential at two different frequency. One is B01, this is the stopping potential at frequency mu1. Another is B02, and this is also the potential? Stopping potential. It's also the potential? Stopping potential. But at which frequency? nu2. But as I said already, since nu2 is greater than nu1, that's why B02 is greater than B01. So means from this graph I can say that more the frequency of incident light, more the stopping potential. And this increase in the stopping potential is due to the increase in the energy? The kinetic energy, the maximum kinetic energy of photoelectrons. Okay. So children, from here one conclusion we can draw, that is the maximum kinetic energy of photoelectrons, which is called stopping potential, also equals to stopping potential, increases linearly with the frequency of incident light. So whatever point, as I said just now, so that point I have written in the form of statement. As I said, maximum kinetic energy of photoelectrons, or we also equals to stopping potential, increases linearly with the increase in the frequency of what? Incident light. Okay, so with this frequency of incident light and the maximum kinetic energy of photoelectrons, we can even plot a graph, and this graph is also very important. So children, we can easily plot a graph of frequency of incident light and the maximum kinetic energy of photoelectron, that is Ek, and that is also equals to EB naught. Okay, and the graph is a straight line graph, because as I said, kinetic energy and frequency increases linearly. But if you look at this graph, this is a straight line graph, but not passing from the origin. It's passing from some other point. So this graph says that there must be a minimum frequency. There must be a minimum frequency of incident light where the photoelectron can just eject from the metal plate. And that frequency of incident light, the minimum frequency of incident light in which the photoelectron just can eject from the metal plate, is basically marked by nu naught. And this frequency is called threshold frequency. Threshold frequency. So children, from this graph we can define another term that is called threshold frequency. So threshold frequency is the lowest frequency of the light which can emit photoelectrons from the metal plate, and that frequency is called threshold frequency, also called as cutoff frequency. We also call as what frequency? Cutoff frequency. But the graph says that it is a straight line graph, not passing from the origin. And every straight line has what? Equation. But if you look at this graph, when you extend the line on the negative y-axis, okay, negative kinetic energy axis, then this line will meet somewhere at this point. So when it meets somewhere at this point, then we can measure this particular axis, negative y-axis, and this negative axis, y-axis, is given by minus b. So I am using the symbol out here, minus b, because this minus b is actually nothing but the intercept, the negative intercept of what axis? Y-axis. So children, if the straight line graph that we have plotted between Ek and nu, okay, is intersect on the negative y-axis, then this is equals to intercept, negative y-intercept, okay. But this is also equals to the negative or minimum kinetic energy required to eject the what? Photoelectrons, and this is also equivalent to the work function. I am defining the term now here, that is called work function. So you learn in details, okay. But as for the graph which we can see, this graph is a straight line graph, and this graph is expressed by Ek equals to AB mu minus what? B. Now this equation is the equation of straight line. Now you know equation of straight line you have learned already, like y equals to mx plus c, where m is the slope and c is the what? Intercept. But this straight line has negative y-intercept and has a slope, and this line has a slope, and the slope of this line is given by the equation of straight line is given by Ek. So y is equivalent to Ek, that is we are plotting along y-axis. A is equivalent to m, the slope. X is the variable out here, which means equivalent to frequency, and out here not plus sign but minus sign we are plotting because we are having negative intercept, and that equals to b. So this is the equation of this straight line that we can express, measuring this as a slope, and this is a intercept. But what intercept, children? Negative intercept. Okay, so from this graph we can calculate the slope, and you know the slope of the graph is always calculated by drawing a triangle taking any 2 points. So if you draw a triangle taking any 2 points on this straight line graph, then the slope of the line, the slope is equals to A, because the slope of the line is always given by A. The slope of the line is given by what? A. Now children, at the same time let me just make another explanation from this, that if you look at this equation, from this equation even we can say that for the photoelectrons to be emitted from a given metal plate, the frequency of the light incident on the plate should be higher than the what frequency? Threshold frequency. That means if this frequency is greater than threshold frequency, then only the electron which eject from the metal plate can move towards the positive plate. Then only the photoelectric current can be established. But at frequency, when the frequency of incident light is nu naught, that is called threshold frequency, the electron just eject from the metal plate, but that cannot reach to the plate. Okay, that's why for photoelectric effect to be observed, frequency of the incident light must be greater than threshold frequency, and this threshold frequency also the lowest frequency, okay, which can emit photoelectrons from the metal plate, or just eject photoelectron from the metal plates. So from here I can even say that if the frequency of incident light is less than threshold frequency, if the frequency of incident light is less than threshold frequency, then no photoelectrons can emit it. No photoelectrons can emit it from the what? Metal plate. No photoelectron emission means definitely no photoelectric cannot be defined. Whatever intensity the light has, whatever intensity of light, but if frequency of light is less than threshold frequency, no photoelectron can be emitted. Now children, from this relation even we can measure a function that is called work function in terms of threshold frequency, and for that let me just do this way. If nu equals to nu naught, if the frequency of incident light is equal to threshold frequency, in that case the maximum kinetic energy of the photoelectron becomes 0, because this graph says that when the frequency is nu naught, the kinetic energy is 0. So at this point Ek is 0. So when nu equals to nu naught, then Ek is 0. So let me substitute this in the expression. So Ek equals to 0 equals to A. Now nu becomes nu naught minus B. So minus B, if I bring the left hand side, it will be plus B equals to A nu naught. So B equals to A nu naught. And children, this B actually represent the minimum energy. This is the energy axis, the minimum energy required to emit the photoelectrons. And this minimum energy required to eject photoelectrons from the metal plate is actually expressed by work function. What function? Work function. So children, you will be asked sometime to define work function. It is the minimum energy required to eject photoelectron from the metal plate, and that is called work function. But children, work function is always expressed in terms of threshold frequency. But the main problem that arises in this experimental observation is the value of A. Now A is the slope. A is the slope of the what? Line. Okay. But what happened? These two scientists performed the experiment not by taking only single metal. They performed the experiment by taking other metal also, of different material. So by doing number of experiments with different metals, what was found that this A was found to be remain constant, and this A is basically called as universal constant. It was found as what constant? Universal constant. So under this case, they could not make a clear conclusion that this value of universal constant must be what? So in their observation of experimental observation made by Hertz and Lenard in photoelectric effect, they found some defect. They found some drawback in measuring this constant, that is called universal constant. Because at that time when they were explaining this phenomenon called photoelectric effect, they were applying the wave theory of light. They are applying what? Wave theory of light. So under this case, the wave theory of light was completely failed to explain photoelectric effect. So in this situation, there was a scientist named Albert Einstein who further taken this experimental observation made by two scientists and made some important conclusion, especially by applying one of the nature of light, saying that light consists of small packets, a bundle of packets, particles which are called photons, and the concept of the photon and the explanation of photoelectric effect by Albert Einstein you learn in the next YouTube video.